Sometimes art is prophetic, and sometimes I don't know how to offset it. The words too authentic to constantly do what I do and augment it. Y'all talk a big game, can't tell if y'all meant it. If seconds turns to minutes, the ticking will tell all. Will you hold firm or steadily fall? Will you conform with the ways of the world, or will you give the world everything that you are? Make them fuckers move around you, kinda like sound do. Break out of everything that they had you bound to. You got knocked down, ho, get ready for round two. It's round two. Get ready for round two. Come back, run rap, run laps around these cats, jump back, kiss myself, still keeping me intact. Weird and black, they for that, hold up, steer it back. Weird and black, they revere that, yup, you hear that?
Turnstile, switch it up. Young nigga raised hard, he learned not to give a fuck. Young nigga came far, still never give enough. Coming with the flavor, delicious, so she lick it up. Bust down, stick it up, I put it down, so pick it up. Scud town, saviors, done some till he shift to musk. Stench so stank that the shit compare soft to us. Crud so dank, make your face much dripping, cuz club go shake when the bass gets to hitting ya. They ain't really hearing us, but they gon' feel something when the way is paved clear enough. I don't fear nothing but the fate is God's real or not. Well, fuck it, got the world in my hands, and that's real enough. Fuck it, got the world in my hands, gold forms to touch. Might just spend it all one time to give it all to us. Yeah, give it all to us.
Yeah. This that hip-hop body, rock, hardcore, karate, chop, neo-Nazi, nasty, not feel it in my chest. How could you wear that name? Must be automatic shame. He's an automatic lame, heard it from the best. Fresh flow, let's go, plus I got a lot of heart. It's necessary when you dabble in this art. Grab canvas, paint picture, use them acrylics, paint a picture so vivid, the people gotta feel it like the Kaaba. Lyrics bear fruit like guava, words spilling out of my brain like lava. Spills out the top of a volcano, and they know that A-Right is not the one to play no. I'm Kano in Mortal Kombat, cause the lyrics like blades. Aim it at your juggler when I'm on stage. Until you heard me spit, homie, you ain't heard rage. On another chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it how I do it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. My crew's the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of roses I make bumping in your system. I mean banging in it, I'm still hanging in it. I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms, I got a lot of soul. I found the pot of gold, I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need it. And I want you to succeed, I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample for me, so get up.
I would like to be traded to any other team but the New England Patriots.
Big brain predictions. That's what I got.
Take it off, sir.
The Washington football team beat the Steelers.
Right. And that person.
EDP.
Yes, but if we lose this game, I firmly believe we do not need to make playoffs. So
Don't you ever disrespect me.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. This is After Further Review, episode 105. I'm your co-host, Jaylen Brown.
I'm your other delightful co-host, Shaquille Brown.
I'm everybody's most hated co-host, Malin. And as you guys can see, I have been put back in my hole over here. I had a fun couple weeks over at the mothership. And now I'm back outside like a damn Labrador. How you guys doing?
We are doing all right. We have a slightly different, well, I mean, to you guys at home, it's pretty much the same, but new computers, so we're just working out the kinks over here. You won't see any title overlays this episode just because I didn't have the chance to get to that this week. But as you can see, we started a little later than we normally do, but that's all right. We'll still be here until 2 a.m. anyhow, so what difference does it make?
Well, you know what we do have time to do?
Good sir.
Shots.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Cheers up to.
Cheers to you,
Guys are-
Malin.
You guys are drinking that Johnny Walker.
Yes,
Gold
shout out
over there.
Shaq bringing in the Johnny Gold.
Oh, there you go.
This show has been on the up. Last week, Walking Stick, Johnny Walker Gold. What's next?
We got great taste apparently in the show. We've evolved.
Man.
I remember week 1, week 2.
Remember Kraken?
Yes, you were taking shots of Kraken and drinking Miller Lite throughout the show.
I love how Jalen worked so hard not to do the customer as he went in there, and you could hear it. You could hear it in his voice. He was struggling.
I
It's like
may
he
or
got
may not have
kicked
been
in the-
trying not to.
It's like he got kicked in the chest. He was like, "Yeah, guys, we're gonna make it."
Folks at home, let us know if you can hear us all right, see us all right. It would only be our luck that we get 25 minutes in. They're like, we can't hear you.
It's like somebody put some comments. When is the show starting?
That has happened before.
Yes.
No, I would just like to do one little shout out here to my mother. She when I was up there just a couple weeks ago, she gave me a Washington Husky shot glass, which you probably can't see because of the light. But it was a shot glass that my mom and dad have used since the 80s.
Wow.
And there had been many of shots poured because of Washington Husky victories. So this is an old shot glass that hopefully I don't break on the show. So
Yeah, don't do that.
there we go.
Well, I was gonna, plug the YouTube, but I think you guys probably get if you want to watch us on YouTube, click the first link in the description. Simple as that. Let's just jump right into this main thing since we're already running a bit behind. We will open up with a recap of the last week in the NFL. The NFL this year has proven to be just even wackier. Every week, as soon as you don't think you can get any crazier, it does. The Giants and the Packers played in London on Sunday morning, and the Giants pulled off the upset. Man, I would love to say I called this or something, but I know I had no inkling that the Giants were going to win this game. So let's start with Shaq. How would you rank the Giants as of right now, week 5, on a scale of 1 to 10? How would you rank the Giants?
I'm gonna give it that safe bet of 7. In due time, I'm just waiting for them to crumble upon themselves because that would be the Giants' thing to do. I have this friend at work whoop out their Giants little jacket. I was like, you're a Giants fan? He's like, I am. I just now finally have a reason to wear the jacket in public without being judged.
Ridiculed.
It's not a lot of fair weather people, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Give them about 2-3 more weeks and Giants again. But
Malin?
Well, I mean, Shaq is always the ultimate pessimist. He's proven this by just the way he clowns on his own team, but we'll have time to talk about his own team later.
Yep.
The when you talk about like how would I rate them? Like how real are the Giants? Right now I'd probably have to go. I'd have to go like an 8, actually, an 8 out of 10. And when I looked at their record, I wasn't really all that impressed because their only loss was to the 4-1 Cowboys, and from that they beat the 3-2 Titans, the 1-4 Panthers, the 2-3 Bears that should be 1-4, and then they beat the Packers that were 3-1. Actually, the Bears should probably be winless. I don't know how they have. Do they even have a quarterback? I don't know. So they've only beaten 2 winning teams, right? And Tennessee was god awful the first 2 weeks of the year, and they happened to play in week 1. Derrick Henry wasn't Derrick Henry until week 3. But when I look at, I kind of feel like they have a toughness to them that is different than a toughness that they've tried to project to America over the last few years. Like, this isn't, Judge trying to do slip and slides and talking at a press conference how they're going to be tough. I feel like there is a grit to this team, and there's a confidence to this team that Dable, I think I just said his name right. Dable, I always pronounce everybody's name wrong. The head coach of the Giants, who made Josh Allen who Josh Allen is. Let's not forget that. Josh Allen was on his way to being an NFL bust before that man became his offensive coordinator. He has brought a toughness and a confidence to this team that, they played the Green Bay Packers overseas. Now, I must admit, I damn near forgot that they were playing overseas this week. I just happened to stumble right into kickoff at 9:30 in the morning. I was like, oh, hey, look, there's an NFL game on. If you think about it, like, they were down, 10 to 13 points going into the second half. They were missing 2 of their offensive linemen. They're missing all 4 of their starting wide receivers. They have people playing wide receiver and playing in the secondary. They're missing 2 of their 4 secondary players. They have people making plays on this team that weren't on the opening day roster. They weren't on the final roster coming out of preseason and camp. And they're making plays. And it's the only thing that's going to make them fall back to being the Giants is Shaq says that they will. And this is why there is a 50-50 chance on whether or not they will or not, is that it all rides on the health of Saquon Barkley. If he's healthy, they have a shot. Like, I think that the New York Giants are the NFC's version of the AFC's Titans. If you have a running back, it's Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley, and they're healthy, I think you got a good shot of winning a lot of these games. If you don't, goes out, then I think that you're going to be in some trouble. It all rests on his not so healthy self. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I absolutely hate picking the number 7 on these scales. So I'm not gonna go 7. I'm just gonna go straight up to the 8. I'm not gonna lie, Malin. I'm gonna just say it. So far, you have been right on the. I don't know if you remember saying this, but on our Super Bowl episode, this past Super Bowl, when we were talking about new head coaches, when Dable first got hired, you called it that he could transform Daniel Jones. I wasn't buying it, but so far, Daniel Jones looks significantly better than what he has since he's been in the NFL. So Brian Dable seems to be doing his thing with the whole team, and especially with Daniel Jones specifically. So I'm gonna say an 8. If Saquon can stay healthy, it seems like they're coached well enough to make the receiving core happen, or still be able to make plays down the field with Daniel Jones using a bit of his athleticism. Keep Saquon healthy, and they've got a pretty good shot at being competitive throughout the entire year, I think. So I'm gonna say 8, but it sounds like we're all in the same sort of boat.
Well, I make a point to always remember all the smart things I say. So I do actually remember saying that. I try to forget all the dumb things I say, so that's why I don't remember a lot. But yeah, I really believe in this guy as being somebody that can transform a culture of a team, and I think that he is, like I said, I think he's fully responsible for Josh Allen turning it around. Josh Allen was terrible his first 2 years in the league. Terrible.
Yeah, he was.
He was like Daniel Jones. Just wasn't like he was on his way to being a bust. And so yeah, as long as Daniel Jones doesn't revert back to doing Daniel Jones things and Saquon stays healthy, kind of looks like they can plug and play anybody they want and they're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, moving to the next game here. So the Eagles were able to beat the Cardinals 20-17. They are on paper, record-wise, they're the best team in the NFL. But Malin, do you think that they are like actually, in your mind, they're the best team in the NFL?
There's two conflicting things going into this on whether or not I think they are or not. Like my feelings say no. There's no way that they're the best team in the NFL. Why? Because it's the Eagles, and we've already established the fact that we are the shit on Eagles show of record. Actually, the whole city of Philly. I don't care. They can bring all the hate they want. But when you really kind of deep dive into like some of their analytics, right? It starts to make a case that maybe they are. They're one of only 2 teams in the NFL that have a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense. The other team in the NFL to do that is the Buffalo Bills. They have the number 2 offense at 419 yards a game. Now they are only scoring 27 points a game, which is only really good enough for about 6 or 7. But for some reason, the league uses yards that you get and yards that you allow on defenses, whether or not you're the best defense. I don't know. And they're number 4 in defense. And they're only allowing 17 points a game. They're allowing under 17 points a game. But they've only beaten one team with a winning record, and that's the Vikings, so it's not like they're world beaters. But, the Lions did have the best offense in the NFL, and I said did because we'll talk about that later. The Jaguars are a little bit better. The Commanders are the Commanders. And then the Cardinals, they might win 5 games this year. So when you think about who they've played, yeah, you say no. But when you think about the fact that they got the number 2 offense, the number 4 defense, it really kind of sets a different tone. And the other crazy stat that I saw is that they have gone for it on 4th down 12 times.
Wow.
This year. And they're 8 for 12.
Wow.
Those types of things, when you have a head coach that's willing to take that risk and you convert on that, that's a killer, man. To a defense, like we've all seen it when we're fans, our team gets to 4th down and we're like, whoo, all right, let's get them on the field. And they start to go for it on 4th. We're like, no, fuck you, man. You're not supposed to do that. That's not, and then they get it. And then you want to like chug a bottle of bourbon. But the Eagles have been doing that to people all year long. They're 8 for 12 on 4th down. That's freaking nuts.
I was going to try and argue otherwise, but 8 for 12 on 4th down. I feel like these past couple of years in the NFL, your ability to convert on 4th downs is very important. Like, first of all, just going for it in the first place and then actually be able to do it more times than not is it's pretty crucial. I mean, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Rams, like all gutsy offensive teams that have been, pretty successful these past few years. Eagles are right there. Even though just a couple weeks ago I did say fuck them, but I do feel like they're the best team in the NFL.
I'm gonna stick with the concept of fuck the Eagles.
All right, good. That's one of us.
I was about to say, it's like I'm gonna kind of go with what Malin said on the aspect of they are this good just based on their first couple weeks of the teams that they've faced. Per se, they've been this successful because their teams have been
Right, Jags, Commanders.
okay at best. And of course, they're gonna have top 5 offense, defense going up against like teams like the Jags, Commanders, the Cardinals. It's
Detroit.
You're gonna put up numbers. You're gonna defense is gonna shine. I feel like not until they play a team with a really heavy winning record are we really gonna see like how good is their offense, how good is their defense really. So it's like up until then, I'm still gonna say the Eagles are the Eagles. They're beating teams that they should be beating. That's my aspect of. Yeah, see, you should be winning against these teams, but
So Shaq is clearly going to be picking the Cowboys in the ride or die based on what he just said.
oh yeah. Unfortunately, I hate the Cowboys,
Well-
but I hate the Eagles more than I hate the Cowboys. So
I mean, the only thing that really kind of concerns me about the Eagles, Jalen, is that when you say like best team, like you beat who's on your schedule, right?
Yeah.
And yes, we all know that they have the easiest schedule in the NFL, and they will for pretty much the whole year. Like when you go down their list, you could see them going 14-3, just based on the schedule that they have. So their schedule could be misleading throughout the course of the year. But one thing that does concern me about them is that Jalen Hurts, right? Everyone's lauding him for how great he's playing the quarterback position right now. He's 67.9% completion percentage. That's pretty good, right? 1,359 yards. That puts him right there in like the 6 to 8 range, I think, for passing yards. 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Passing. But running the football, 68 attempts, 266 yards, 3.9 average, and 6 touchdowns. I just don't know. Yeah, you can win a lot of games in a regular season based on your opponents, and it does look like you have a good defense and your offense is kind of moving. Does that type of quarterback play translate to the playoffs? Can your quarterback keep scoring more touchdowns running instead of passing, and you win in crunch time if you're down and you have to do a 2-minute drive? You know what I mean? So that concerns me a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. That is also a cause for pause for me. But hey, I mean, I guess only time will tell with that one. It's staying in the NFC least here, which is, I mean, I can't even call it the NFC least right now because
except for the Commanders, that division is really.
You got 1 5-0 team and 2 4-1 teams, and you're like the NFC least worst division in football.
It's just a habit. The Cowboys did win their 4th straight when they went to LA and beat the Rams 22-10. So if you guys were Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy, whoever, would you give Dak his starting role? This is assuming that, let's just say this Sunday he's healthy. Assume that. Would you give him his starting role back?
Absolutely not.
Hey yo.
What? It is not broken at this current phase. Why put you back in there when we are doing okay and have a winning record without you? Why am I putting you back? Other than the fact that we're paying you, that's the only thing that's gonna play a factor is that they're paying Dak a hell of a lot of money. So they're like, yeah, we're gonna get our money's worth to play you, but at the same time, it's like, are we willing to risk that for a winning record? It's just the balance of business and actual like playing going on. If you're doing great right now, me as a coach, if I'm taking out the whole money aspect of what we owe you, what we're paying you, Dak, you would not be coming in here until shit falls apart. Your eyes will sit there and watch this shit go down. I want to let people know if you're making the playoffs, the first thing I'm telling them, Dak did not do this. Mr. Rush himself, let people know that you're paying this man a whole lot of money for nothing because we just made the playoffs with no Dak Prescott. But like, you are not touching this field as long as we are winning games and getting shit done.
I feel that if I'm Mike McCarthy, I would handle it like, Dak, all right, you can come back, I'll give you 1 week. If you play like dog shit, you can have 1 week. I get it. You're just coming back a little rust. If he plays like dog shit for a week, the next game I'm giving you 1/2. If you're still not playing well, like you got to be playing well, not even just okay. If you're not playing well, come on, Coop. Second half, come on.
That's
Let's
a
go.
game and a half more than I'm giving. I ain't even giving you a glance. Don't even put your pads on or your jersey on. Not care.
Now,
Keep the sweats on and sit there and watch.
he said, keep your sweats on. Jesus.
Stay in your Tempur-Pedic or Sleep Number, whatever commercial.
When it comes to the Cowboys right now, let's not kid ourselves. They're not winning games
With
because of Cooper Rush.
right.
Wins a win.
They've beaten the they've beaten the Bengals that are 2-3, the Commanders that are 1-4, the Rams that are 2-3, and they did beat the Giants that are 4-1. So they've beaten one good team with Cooper Rush.
And all those teams can beat my team, so that's still a win.
And the Commanders can probably get you to eat another sock right now.
I would love to see that, right?
When you really break it down, he's completing 61% of his passes. He has 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. He has a 93 rating. The key stat of that is no interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
He's not making mistakes right now. Dak has already been ruled out for this week. He's not going to start this week. They already ruled him out. The smart thing to do would keep him until after the bye. Because, yes, they play the Eagles this week, but then I think they play Detroit, then Washington the next 2 weeks. I think those are their next 2 games. They should be able to win those games with Cooper Rush. But here's the thing. If they beat Philly and they go into the bye and they have not lost with Cooper Rush, does that not remind you of what the Patriots did back in 2001 with Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady? There's an eerie similarity between the two because Drew Bledsoe at the time was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. He had just signed his contract the year before he got hurt. When did Dak Prescott sign his contract? Last year.
Right.
Drew Bledsoe had been in the league for 8 years. He'd made multiple Pro Bowls. Dak Prescott's been in the league for 6 years, made multiple Pro Bowls. The difference is that the New England Patriots had a tremendous defense, and they were 0-2 when Tom Brady came in. Cowboys, tremendous defense. They're only allowing, I think, 14.4 points a game right now. Parsons is the leader of this team. Diggs is the leader of this team. But you don't fix what's not broken. I would literally play if they beat Philly and they win these other 2 games and they go into the bye, I would ride Cooper Rush until they got stuck in rush hour traffic and all the wheels just fell off. Like I would wait until he fell on his face before I entertained putting Dak Prescott back in there because there is a chemistry, a grittiness to this team right now. They're walking out there with swagger and confidence. Is Dak Prescott the better quarterback? Yes. Did he really only complete 47% of his passes in week 1? Yes. Yeah, but you don't mess with what's working in the NFL. And if it's working and you're winning games, if I was a fan of the Cowboys, I wouldn't give a fuck how much money we're paying to Dak Prescott. I'd be like, you keep winning games until we're not winning games anymore, then you put Dak back in. So I would keep him on the bench if they beat Philly.
Because it's the same argument if Philly is real as everyone is saying they are, and the Cowboys still go into that game and beat them. Apparently, the Cowboys are a little more real in the condition that they're at than people are saying. So it's kind of like, why am I going to ruin whatever chemistry, dynamics, some sort of weird chakra flow, whatever you want to call it, with the Cowboys?
I would also just like to point out that when we were making all our picks in July, I was the only one that had the Cowboys finishing with like a good record.
You
I'm
were.
pretty sure. I
But this
think,
man-
I
this
think
man-
the rest of y'all dogged him out with like 6 wins and Cooper Rush out there
Yeah.
making Shaq look like an idiot.
Yeah, but I'm saying you saying that like you predicted that. Could Dak Prescott was gonna blow his shit out and not play, and then all of a sudden
A
Cooper
win's
Rush
a win.
I predicted that they would go 12-5, and we are right on course, sir.
All I'm saying, if
right on course.
If you were to tell me that
We're
Dak
about to
Prescott wasn't gonna
land-
touch the
we're
field
about
again,
to
I'm like,
land this plane. We about to. Hey, they might have hit some turbulence in week 1, but we're about to land that plane.
we were assuming that Zeke was gonna be like Zeke for the past 2 years.
Actually, I wasn't. I actually just thought that like the defense was going to be great and Dak was going to ball out. Like that was what I was basing it
And
on.
Dak is doing
Uh,
everything but ball
Zeke-
out. This man has left the
He's
sidelines.
balling out with that clipboard in his hand.
Exactly.
Zeke-
Man can't read for that.
As in, Zeke is past his prime to where he can't jump into Salvation Army buckets anymore. He just eats cereal at them.
This man
Like,
can't
he
afford
can't-
half a shirt.
It's just, even when it looks like he's about to break off for like a big run, like everybody closes in on him. I'm like,
Yeah,
shit, man. Like, am
every
I faster
time.
than you? Like, am I 41 years old and faster than you right now? Like, that's ridiculous. But no, we all listen. We do all got to eat crow on this. We all said the Cowboys were done after week 1.
Yeah.
I tried to convince myself they weren't, and I was like, God dang it, like they son of a, because I had them going 12-5, and I was like, this just bust everything up that I had going on. Even I said it. I was like, man, they got to be done. But that defense is like, oh, you think we're done? How about we just thrash everybody over and over and over again? And that's what they've done. 14 points a game.
Yeah.
That's unheard of in today's NFL, man. And there's a few teams that are doing that. That's what's crazy.
Shout out to G Money in our live chat here on YouTube. Every week, G Money is out here. He says, if Dak is 100%, yes, you just don't have the deep passing attack that you have with Dak in the game. Well, G
I don't
Money,
think they have a deep. I don't think they have a deep passing attack, even with Dak Prescott. Who they throwing to? CD Butterfinger Lambs? Like what are they doing? Like they don't have anybody to throw the ball to, man. It was just that offense is going to be average, even if Dak is there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Cooper Rush, though, hell of a quarterback. Now.
Happy for Cooper Rush, man. Like, shout out to him. I'm sure this is great for him, his family. Like, I'm sure it's awesome. And last but not
5-0
least,
quarterback.
True that. Last but not least, the Raiders come up short against the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. They lose 29-30. This was a hell of a game. But Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid. Seems like as long as the core gang is there, the Chiefs are still kicking. What do you guys think was the biggest reason that the Raiders lost this game?
The Chiefs being the Chiefs and winning the game for themselves. I was praying so much for freaking Raiders to win this game. I wanted the Chiefs to lose this fucking game.
I think we all.
Yes. I was like, but especially when I see like close all game, I was like, please, for my peace of mind, there's something positive got to come out of football this week for me, please. And of course they lost, and nothing positive came out of football this week for me. So, freaking Giants. Yeah, nothing positive came out of it. But yeah, the Chiefs being the Chiefs and taking the game in their own hands and winning it. So, whatever. Yeah, but still fuck them.
Malin, I know that this game was a little hurtful for you, but
Let's go ahead and start that. That game, all 53 players, 106 of them, they can all line up and kiss my ass. That game, just like the Chiefs can have the left cheek and the Raiders can have the right cheek. I don't give a flying egg about
knock him out of
which
both
side,
times.
but damn it, listen. In fantasy football, how many times do you go into a Monday night game being up 64.8 points and lose? You want to know why that happens? Because the Raiders defense decided, you know what? When we're in the red zone, let's forget about Travis Kelce. This bitch has
Every
7
single
catches for 25 yards. 7 catches for 25 yards. That's less than 5 yards of reception. But he had 4 touchdowns. 30 points from Patrick Mahomes, 33.4 from good old Kelce there. You throw in another 6 from Juju Smith-Schuster. Fuck you, Shaq. You son of a bitch. And then all of a sudden, Team Johnson. I don't even know who the hell he is. He can kiss my ass too.
Shout out to Zon Johnson.
He could be number 107 to kiss my cheeks.
You can't complain about fantasy. I could be down half a point going into Monday night and still fucking lose off a half a point. 2 players left. I got a player who literally caught 1 pass, got me 1 point, and they decided he wanted to lose brain cells. Fuck this.
But you know how the ESPN app, like, it gives you percentages, like how likely you are to
your
win,
probability,
right?
yeah.
I was at 96% probability to win before the game started. They scored 1 touchdown, it went to like 72. They scored another one, it went down to 53. I was like, all right, y'all need to just calm the hell down. Scored a third touchdown, it went all the way down to 11% because we weren't even in the fourth quarter. I was like, you son of a... I was up by 7 points, and Mahomes throws a touchdown pass, of course, to Kelce, and all of a sudden I'm losing by like 8. I was like, what in the... I was so mad. But anyways, about the game, enough about my weak-ass fantasy team.
None of us have a winning record in fantasy almost, except for Malin, but like...
Well, I do have don't say almost. I do have a winning record. Let's give props to do here. My team is actually doing all right. Apparently, we just can't withstand Mahomes and Kelce.
Jalen and I still have like 2 wins combined.
Holding it down.
Oh, you guys actually have 2. I have more wins than both of y'all combined.
Yes.
That's great.
Probably missed it too. Still.
All right, so in my notes, kind of like, the reason why maybe cover Kelce in the red zone, maybe make that a point of emphasis, even after the first touchdown, of course, because Kelce's going to get a touchdown. He's their only weapon, right? After 2, okay, 3 and 4, you should be fired. Like, all of you should just be gone. Just go get Alabama's defense and put them in there. Just sign them all the contracts because you all are worthless. But what really puzzled me in that is that with 4 minutes left in the game, you score a touchdown. It's 29-30. You got 4 minutes left. Yep. All you got to do is kick an extra point, hold the Chiefs. Maybe you get the ball back to try to go back, but then you're at least playing for overtime, right? What do? Go for a 2-point, which I'm not 100% sure that Jacobs didn't make. It really looked to me like he made it. It really looked to me like he made it.
Yeah.
And then what did they do? They stopped the Chiefs. Go figure. And then they had the ball back, and that Adams play was another play that I was like, oh man, I felt like that was another one that was really close to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, God, that would have put him right in field goal range. And then all of a sudden, Renfro wanted a hug on 4th down. He decided to run into Adams, and then the game was over. And then Adams decided to start shoving people in the damn tunnel. So now he's facing. Now he's up on charges. That's how petty Kansas City is, by the way. They're like, oh, you push somebody. You push somebody. We got it on tape. It's on tape. You're going to jail. So Adams is now in legal light. He lost the game because Renfro wanted a hug, and because he's pushing camera people. So the whole goddamn thing was a shit show for me. Fantasy, the fact that the Chiefs being down 17 points can still come back and win is just ridiculous. It's like they toy with people, man. It's like they toy with people. It's just not fit. These are grown men out there. Don't play for 4 quarters, goddammit. Don't play for 2 quarters and give people hope for half the game. like play for the whole 4 quarters and put them out of their misery like the Bills do to some teams. So I'm just saying, made me angry.
So it's fucking disrespectful for no reason at all. I come here anyway. L's of the week. We're gonna get to the conversation here in a couple seconds.
The decision to go for, well, first of all, I did speak too soon in our Discord when I was like, man, this is so great when they were down 17-0, I think, in the first half.
Yeah, it's your
and then, well, if you want to put that blame on me, sure. But, here that the Chiefs came right back and the smile went right off my face, and that was that. Mainly, like you said, though, to me, the biggest reason was the decision to go for 2. What the hell? That really made me angry when they just take the field goal and tie the game up. Because like you said, right after that, they get a stop. And I'm sure you would feel outstanding if you get a stop. And now it's like, all right, we can go do anything and take the lead right now.
Yeah.
But nope, now we're already in a deficit.
They wouldn't have had to press.
Exactly.
They would have been able to run whatever offense they wanted.
Exactly.
They would have been able to run the football. They would have been able to, like, the whole playbook would have been open to them.
Yep. Absolutely.
But I don't know if they like recently legalized drugs in Kansas City or not, though, because the Chiefs went for 2 when they didn't have to either. When they scored a touchdown, I was like, what is it with you people? Like, does nobody like the extra point anymore? Everybody analytics, like, what the hell? What kind of analytics is this?
I don't know what that is, but
I was puzzled by both of them.
I gotta
more
say,
puzzled by the Raiders defense.
Yeah, that red zone defense was god awful. When you had let us know in the Discord that you were up by 60 points in fantasy, I was laying in bed with Autumn watching the game, and I read that and was cracking up. And Autumn was like, "Oh, what's so funny?" And I was explaining to her that you were up 60 points, and that the odds of losing when you're up 60 points on a Monday are like
let's go
almost
ahead and
impossible.
go back to the moment after they scored that touchdown. I went in the chat and I said, "Fuck Mahomes and Kelsey and the donkey. They both fuck together, those sons of bitches." And then I wrote, "God fucking damn it." And then I wrote, "Pieces of dried up cow shit." Then I wrote something else that I won't say online because I don't want to get canceled. Then I wrote, "Them dirty motherfuckers." And then you put, "I just looked at your fantasy matchup," and you were rolling like you knew what had happened. And then I was like, I was up by over 60 points. That shit shouldn't be allowed. Democracy is dead. That's it. Our republic is gone. This is ridiculous. I'm still salty about it. And the whole time that Kelsey's scoring points in my family fantasy league with my brother and G Money and them, I was already beating my brother by like 80 fantasy points.
Oh,
and then Kelsey just keeps racking up points. I'm like, I don't need those points, Kelsey. I don't need those points. I need you to stop.
Yeah.
You son of a. So yeah, it was a fun Monday night for me. I drank a little bit more than I planned on it.
That's every Wednesday though.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's every night.
Yeah.
Just life now. A lifestyle choice.
I was trying to convince Shaq to double up in shots with him for
If I didn't have to transport myself home, that'd be an okay idea, but I have to get home somehow.
Let's go right into the L's of the week before we go to our break.
Stop it.
There was a lot of L's suffered this week, folks.
A lot of them.
Lot of L's.
Like Oprah Winfrey. You get an L. You
just
get
catching
an L.
loads of L's. That's exactly what's going on.
I get an L.
Good choice of words.
Yep, that's what it felt like.
So let's start with the Jets. Now there was a lot of talk last week, but the Jets did
the best L of the week. Best L of the week.
The Jets did blow the doors off the Dolphins, and their third string quarterback, Skylar Thompson, interesting name, 40-17 was the final score. I didn't watch a minute of this game, but
I didn't either, but I saw the scores. Like, I'm glad they blew out every single last vertebrae in that dolphin ass back of these dolphins. Dorsal fin and all is gone. I'm happy about it. Nesta came on the show talking a lot of shit last week, throwing shade about, oh, y'all did lose to the Jets just for his team to come and get shit kicked in, caved into the Jets. So I'm happy. Jets, you do you, as long as you don't do it to me, us again. But if you got every time you play Miami, I hope we beat them.
Well, I mean, they were on red zone a lot. Why? Because the Jets scored 40 points on them. No, they tried to kill their quarterback, and they're paying the price for it now. That's pretty much what happened. The Tua got hurt. Then, small hands Teddy gets hurt. And then you got Skylar Thompson, which is not as cool of a name as Cooper Rush.
it's not.
And so that's what happens. That's what happens. And, Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, he was saying after 2 weeks, he was like, I'm taking receipts. Y'all not giving us a chance. Y'all think we're going to suck. And then all of a sudden, man, they start blowing the brakes on people.
Yeah.
One of the interesting stats here now, it's going to be a little bit weird communicating between the three of us for the L's week, because I just want to let you know the camera that I usually use to see you guys, it said battery exhausted, and now it's no longer on, so I can't see you. So if we kind of run over each other talking a little bit.
Cabinet
with
the battery.
So if we run over each other a little bit talking, it's because I can't see you guys. I can hear you, but I can't see you. But did you guys know that was that prior to that game, the Jets were 0-12 against the AFC East?
Jesus.
0-12 against the AFC East. I was like, that's insane. And what makes it even crazier is that when you talk about their leading passer, who was Wilson. Now, Hall had 18 rushes, 97 yards, and he also had 2 catches for 100 yards. But the leading rusher and the leading receiver only combined for 1 touchdown. Quarterback, running back, leaders combined for 1 touchdown, yet the Jets still scored 40 points. I don't even know how that's mathematically possible. I don't know how many running backs they used or how many defensive touchdowns they have, but I was just like, how did they only account for 7 points? The 3 of them. That normally doesn't happen. But yeah, the Dolphins, man, how bad do they need Tua?
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
It's dire.
Who would have thought that he would have been more important to his team than Dak is to his team? Who would have thought that?
Yep.
But that's where we are. I think, somewhere Nestor's like, he like admitted himself into a psych ward or something. I heard.
I know they keep.
I heard he's not doing too hot. He might be in the straitjacket. He's losing his mind. He had that chest puffed out there like he was Dolly Parton after 3 weeks, and then he ain't been around. I ain't heard him much in the chat. This man got some real high expectations after week 1.
That Morgan Brown treatment. The moment his team starts doing bad, you won't hear from this man ever.
And then he got Shaq. Shaq's like, I'm here for the long haul, man.
I don't give a damn, good, bad, or even. I'm still here complaining.
All right. Next L on the list here. The 49ers beat the Panthers so bad that Matt Rule lost his job. Final score is 37-15. Malin, I believe you called this with Matt Rule being the first coach to be fired.
Yes, I did.
And he didn't even make it to Thanksgiving. So, god damn. There's a hot take in community comments that you guys will like to hear this. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Community is very interesting.
Did you guys know that there's only been 2 coaches fired in the last 30 years after 5 games in the NFL? Do you know who they are?
In 30 years? I'm not going to guess that,
Yep.
no.
One of them is Matt Rule,
Oh,
and the other one is Hugh Jackson.
Oh, wow.
You want to know who the quarterback was for Hugh Jackson
Baker.
and Matt Rule?
Oh, my God.
This kid is so bad. He's getting coaches canned after 5 games. Twice he's done it now. That's just unbelievable to me. They played so bad this year. I'm pretty sure that Baker Mayfield purposely gave himself a high ankle sprain. I think he went in the locker room and just twisted his shit and put into a boot.
Hey,
And
step
he's
on
gonna be
my
out
ankle.
for
Step on.
6 weeks. And he's like, slamming it in some bathroom door or something. And the defensive coordinator got fired too. I was like, damn, like the offense is so bad that you fire the head coach and you're like, you know what, fuck it, we fired the coordinator too. So a guy by the name of Steve Wilkes, who was the defensive passing coordinator, is the interim head coach because they canned Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator as well. The crazy thing is that they're 1-4, and Christian McCaffrey is still healthy. Who would you would think
What the hell?
that if the Panthers were 1-4, we'd be like, yeah, Christian McCaffrey,
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey things. He got himself hurt in week 2, but he's still healthy. Not getting the ball that much, probably why Rule's fired. But yeah, they're just a shit show. Jimmy G over there claiming lives, just doing his best. Did you guys know that Shanahan has a 69.48 winning percentage with Jimmy G? Do you know what his winning percentage is without Jimmy G?
A lot less.
24%.
Damn.
Why the
Cut in
you would
half.
think that Shanahan would like leave his wife and his family and try to marry Jimmy G. He's handsome. Why are you trying to replace this man? Like he's the best thing that's ever happened to your coaching career. All you've ever
Yeah.
done is break Robert Griffin III in Washington and blow the lead as the offensive coordinator in the Super Bowl with the Falcons. You get Jimmy G, he's your bread and butter, and you're like, nah, we like margarine now. So it's crazy. I don't understand it. The man, he's not great, but he wins games with him. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Next on the list, the Detroit Lions, who had this high-powered offense, got shut out by my Patriots, 29-0. They did not look good at all on Sunday. Like it was an ugly, ugly, ugly show. Dan Campbell, sorry, buddy, but that little momentum you guys had going, if you want to call it momentum, it wasn't happening that Sunday. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on the Detroit scoreless Lions
Detroit doing Detroit type of things. All right, that's all I gotta say about this.
coming back down to earth.
Exactly, level head. I don't know who's over there getting a boner off of watching Detroit. It's like, yeah, we gotta do something. It's like, stop. You wasting blood flow for nothing. Calm down.
One of the funniest things to me that happened was that in the middle of the week, somebody wrote on the Detroit Lions Twitter that they needed to bench Jared Goff. And then the Lions clap back with, we have the number 1 offense in the NFL. And then they go to New England and they throw up a big fat donut. I think this said a lot more about the Patriots than it did the Lions. If Saleh from the Jets is taking receipts, I can guarantee you Belichick is taking receipts right now too.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, oh, y'all want to clown me? You guys think that I didn't have anything to do with these Super Bowl wins? You think it's all Tom Brady, even though Tom Brady went to a loaded roster. But he's like, I'll show you what I can do as a head coach. I'll take Zappy Zippy Zap as a third string quarterback, and we'll take your number 1 offense and we'll shove it up your ass. And Goff was 19-35 for 229 and 1 interception, and he looked lost. He looked He looked like a runaway dog that was put in like the pound and was in a kennel for the first time, wondering like, how the hell did I get in this cage? And Goff was looking around like, why am I at Foxborough right now, Gillette Stadium? Like, this is bullshit. This isn't nice. And so Belichick was like, okay, I'll show you what I can do as a coach. We'll take that number one offense and we'll go ahead and do what we do as the Patriots. Now, I didn't think it was going to be 29-0.
Yeah.
I mean, it also kind of makes me wonder, like, how I know they're bad, but how truly bad is my Seahawks defense? Because the Lions put up 45 on them the week before, and then the Patriots held them to nothing. So that kind of hurt. That kind of hurt me a little bit when I saw that. But yeah, Zappy, is that his name? Zippy, Zap, Zipster. Zipster. I don't know.
Sounds like somebody's golden lab nickname.
Come here, Zip.
Yeah,
Come here, Zippy.
yeah.
Come on.
Again, like, what is with these backup quarterback names outside of Cooper Rush? Man, all these other people got some weird ass names.
Yeah.
But he was 12 of 21 for 188, a touchdown, and interception. It's not like he played great.
And by the way, that interception. If Nelson Aguilar is not blasted into the sun by this Sunday, something needs to happen with our personnel, because every single game there's a lot of colorful words that are used with this guy, but I'll hold those for off air. He has these boneheaded turnovers that, they just send me up a wall. I cannot stand Nelson Aguilar. I cannot stand him. That should be a fumble, not an interception. But
I can just picture Jalen just sitting down with a notebook whenever Nelson Aguilar does something stupid. He's like trying to invent cuss words. Like, maybe this could be a cool cuss word if we just put these letters together. And we just he's like, you know what? We're just gonna take the name Aguilar. We're gonna turn that into a cuss word. Aguilar now stands for piece of shit. There you go.
I'd like to remind everybody that when he played for the Eagles, and the infamous EDP said that at one point he was so fed up with him that he would go to USC, find his old locker, and burn it to the ground.
And instead, he went and found a little boy in another locker.
Short walk.
But yeah, I thought that was actually pretty impressive. Like, anytime you could shut a team out in the NFL, I think that's a big deal. I think that says a lot. I know the Lions have only won one game, but they've been putting up a lot of points in all those losses. And they were averaging 35 points a game, and then they scored nothing. So back to reality for Dan Campbell. Maybe you can order up another plate of kneecaps. I don't know.
G Money says that Campbell is probably the next coach to get fired. I don't know. Last but not least, all right, folks, what you all came here for?
This is why they tuned in, right here. They don't give a damn what we said before, and they don't care what we say after.
Oh no, damn Seahawks, Detroit, nobody.
You're all here. Your kids have gone to bed now. Put the kids away.
Oh, because they're about to hear some shit.
Shaq Steelers went into Orchard Park. Hopped on a nice flight. Probably on Friday.
I hope they got put on Spirit.
They got all comfy on Saturday night in their nice hotel just to come out on a Sunday afternoon and get spanked up by the Buffalo Bills 38-3.
I hope Tomlin beat every single last one of them in the locker room. He's like, take your helmet, pads on. This man padded up his hands. I'm gonna beat the living dog shit out of every last one of y'all. Make me look stupid. I want for no losing record, and now look at us. Oh, that's going to get 3 points off a fucking team. What are we doing? I could have went out there and somehow provided more than 3 fucking points as a quarterback for this godforsaken team. What is going on? What? I understand we're playing a good team, but fight back. Fight back. We are encouraging it. We are every single little child that EDP talked to online. Can you please not encourage the behavior this team, every other team is treating us with? I hope y'all got put on Spirit Airlines. They gave it the cheapest Ubers from the airport to the stadiums. I hope y'all didn't even get a locker room. I hope they had y'all in the stands changing for the way y'all played this fucking game. I was so upset watching this fucking game. So upset. I have never wanted to cuss out every single person I saw on site.
Was Pickett playing or was it? I didn't even watch the game.
Yeah, so it was Pickett.
It was Pickett.
It was
Okay.
Pickett. It was his first game, like starting.
Yeah.
They're like hyping up. It's like, oh, Pickett's gonna be the starter, rookie, could do this well, and then this motherfucker can't. Now look at this. Now look at this. The worst team out there, basically. The Browns have a better record than us right now, and the Browns don't know their head from their fucking asshole right now. And here we are, just like, there's a difference. I don't fucking know what to tell you about the team. Like, other than they're god awful. I hope we lose every fucking game from this point on the rest of the season. At this point, look for draft picks. Just lose the rest of it. There's no point now. What are we fighting for? What are we fighting for?
I mean, they're really not fighting now. They kind of give up on that.
Exactly. They're on their back the whole entire time now. So just give up.
More stomach.
I'll tell you this much right now. Like, Tomlin probably walked into that locker room, looked at that team, went into whatever office he had, got on the phone, called Big Ben. It was like, Ben, I will fly to Colorado right now and let you rape me if you come back.
And Big Ben is probably gained 800 pounds.
Probably what he said. Man, Big Ben was always 800 pounds. He had a headlight size of yours. But the fact that they were down 31-7 at halftime, like, that's not even the game. That's half the game.
Whoever had
Two
fucking
quarters.
Allen on fantasy,
Oh,
gold mine.
I was playing against him, so I knew I was.
A homeboy had almost 500 yards passing. Had like almost damn near 50 points by the fucking game. I was like,
Allen had 424 yards and 4 touchdowns in that game. And you know, I heard some people talking on sports radio. Well, you know, Pickett
Right or back,
52 for 327 yards, and I was like, yeah, he was down like 21-0 in
They were
the
just
second quarter. Of course,
bend
they had to
over.
throw the ball. It was bad, man. I mean, you know that the offense is going to struggle. You know the offense is going to struggle. What happened to that defense, man? What is going on with the whole team? It just the Jets. You lose to the Jets 24-20. And then you just get mopped by the Bills, which, I mean, nobody respected them. Hell, they had a 14-point cover against the line there. But, I mean,
there's a lot going on with their offense, defense, special team, custodial staff, parking staff. There's just a whole lot going on.
It's a rough year.
So this is worse than a rebuild year. Rebuild year, at least they try to get. Look, I'm gonna tell you.
But y'all weren't supposed to be rebuilding.
No, it wasn't.
Apparently we
supposed
are.
to be.
Apparently the way we're playing, we just aim for draft picks at this point in time.
Like,
got one win.
Y'all lost Juju and Big Ben, and then it was like, you know what? One win. That's what we're gonna get this year.
My freaking fantasy team is doing better than this right now. That's an issue.
He said that's an issue.
Why is my make believe my make believe ass
Shaq
team
It's my make believe bad team.
better than y'all?
Shaq is over here like, I could be the GM at Steelers right now. We'd have the same result.
Exactly. I got fucking
like-
Geno Smith as my starting quarterback in my fantasy and still somehow putting up better
Yeah,
numbers.
right.
My make believe ass
And-
team is doing better than y'all's realistic millionaire team. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Can we just point out again that Geno Smith was his very last pick of the draft, and he did it just as a joke?
And he's the best
And
scoring,
it
high
ended up
scoring
being
player on
the
my
best
team.
player on his team. Best player on his team.
Gino out
And
there
he said-
playing
he
his
was
ass
like-
off.
He's like, I got you, Malin. Boop, pick Geno.
Matthew-
You know what I did? I picked fucking Pickett. So we
Week
got
two,
the raw into the deal on that one.
week 2, I took Stafford off my starting lineup to put Geno Smith in. Have never reconsidered putting Stafford back on their starting lineup. Every single week, Geno Smith has put up better numbers than Stafford. Why is that a thing now?
You know,
Well.
you guys know in the fourth quarter that Matt Stafford has thrown 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in the fourth quarter this year.
Well, that's
Playing
why he ain't
terrible.
starting for Shaq anymore.
Exactly. It's like I hate football.
That's right.
I'm not gonna say I hate football, but
Jeez.
football is
Whole
miserable.
show is about football. He's like, I hate it.
Football's miserable. I can't win. My team can't win. My fantasy can't win. the biggest win that I have is my Ride or Die in 5 in this fucking show so far.
Yes, which we will get to
Yes.
in the second half.
I am scared, honestly, for like, because I know Shaq works a lot of Sundays. Like, someone's gonna end up dying in the hospital because his team can't get their shit together. Because I know he just walks around just pissed off.
Oh
He's
yeah,
gonna fuck something up.
Upset.
He's gonna end up going to jail for medical malpractice, doing something fucking stupid because he's so goddamn much in a rage.
Patient's like, I'm thirsty. Can I get water, bitch? I'm thirsty too. My team ain't won a single damn thing.
It's dry out here. Shut the fuck up and lay down.
Upset.
By the end of this year, the Steelers are gonna have one win. Shaq will have killed a patient. And he's gonna be wearing browns or orange in a prison. So that's pretty much.
To be calling in on a landline for the show.
For the show, maybe have me in that little in the corner of the.
He's gonna be like, "Listen, guys, we only got 30 minutes for this show where Boo Boo's gonna take me in the shower again."
I think the Ravens by 3. Go ahead and hurry up.
Either Boo Boo, or Pee Wee's gonna need the phone in 30 minutes, and I don't like the showers, so.
For this godforsaken fucking team.
We need to go to a break. When we come back, G Money will be joining us, and we are going to hit the community comments real quick. Hot take coming out the community comments, folks. We're going to need to hold on to something.
Shit.
The one population that don't need an opinion.
And of course, our Roger Giant 5 for the best NFL betting picks on the internet, folks. You heard it here first. So we'll be back in about 7.5 minutes.
Peace. Gosh, my team upsets the fuck out of me. God awful team. Cancer. All of it. Cancer.
Hey there, After Further Review fans. We got a question for you that's bigger than Shaq's goddamn forehead. So here we go. Who, in your opinion, is the most underrated player heading into this year's NFL season? Is it a kicker like Justin Tucker? Is it a wide receiver like Keenan Allen? Is it the backup running back on your favorite team that probably sucks? You let us know who is the most underrated player in this NFL season, and we'll let Shaq know. Bye.
Who led the AFC in reception yards?
Tyreek Hill.
Incorrect.
Just say an answer. Somebody.
Who is Jamar Chase?
There we go. 200 to G Money.
NFC for 200.
This person led the NFC in reception.
Who is Cooper Cup?
Correct.
Alex, I'll take your mother for 200.
This team had 3 players on the top playoff reception leaders list.
Buffalo Bills.
Incorrect.
Who are the Los Angeles Rams?
Incorrect.
Is Kansas City?
Correct.
How many points was that?
This person led the Bills in playoff reception yards?
Come on, man. Jersey number. I know it's 13.
Oh, you did get it right.
Yes.
Gabriel Davis.
God damn it. Yes, Gabriel Davis.
1,000 from right under Shaq's nose.
How you doing now?
We're guessing jersey numbers.
Did you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
You cannot dispute it, man. I have a more complete team than you.
I already given it to you, Malin. I already said you have the best squad out here.
I heard you, and that took a lot for you to say.
Squad
You,
out.
you have the most complete team, but I wouldn't say you have the best team.
What team is better?
Mine.
All right.
Oh my god!
Ignorance. All y'all, ignorance.
Shaq still thinks his team is good. He has Bam Adebayo and James Harden.
So James Harden is still good, okay?
All right, tell the 76ers that.
Y'all took my first 2 or 3 big men that I wanted. Stop it.
Tyler.
Besides my y'all,
You had the first pick.
I know, but I didn't think y'all were gonna choose big men heavy off the jump off the big.
Well, he was the MVP.
The NBA, there's not a lot of big men in the NBA.
I assumed y'all were gonna be those type of people who go choose guards and forwards heavy. So I was like, maybe I have at least one.
You thought
I had at least one round.
You thought we were all stupid, huh?
No, that's not what I said.
we were all dumb as him. I would just like to point out one more time that Shaq and What's Up With That was trying to sell us
On Zion.
How this man actually looks like he's slimmed down, actually put on a little bit of muscle tone, and can actually be like a powerhouse of a center.
on freaking
And
Zion.
here we are.
And
And here we are.
And y'all would
we needed a big man.
y'all would have
Y'all
would have judged me for picking Zion. Zion has not played in almost 2 seasons.
You
No,
Zion.
That man has not played basketball in about 2 seasons. Don't let me pick this man.
That man went with Odebayu over Zion.
Yes,
That's-
you know why? Because that man played.
This is Shaq's a sly dude. This dude talking about.
Zion-
Hey, come on, look at Zion. Look at how
I
good he is.
try to sell you.
Come on, look
I'm-
at I ain't trying to have.
I
no,
am
not
the
me.
used car salesman of the basketball world. Look at him. He's there. You got a family of 5? I can stuck them in here. Family of 5. Drive 'em around town.
What you did was you had 2 choices. There was like a 2020 Tesla that was broke down outside of the road that just needed to do battery in Zion, and you went for the 86 Buick Cutlass. Like that's what you did. Like you went for old reliable.
Like
and that
this
was
man
your
wasn't
choice.
wasn't on the 3rd best team in the NBA this past season.
Can we stop with
my
the
God.
third best team statistic?
Best team.
Why be hating on me for choosing LeBron as like one of y'all would have chosen LeBron if it was still available?
Shaq had the first pick, and I knew 12 hours ago he was taking LeBron James.
True or untrue? Would y'all have chosen LeBron if he was still available at some point in a team? Stop lying to me.
Number one, no.
Stop lying
I
to
would
me.
not have taken LeBron. Nope.
I would-
Why y'all sit here both-faced lying to me? This is not an audio podcast. This is video. People are watching us.
Yeah, hold on. My first 2
Family of 5? Drive 'em around town?
what you did was you had 2 choices. There was like a 2020 Tesla that was broke down outside of the road that just needed to do battery in Zion, and you went for the 86 Buick Cutlass. Like that's what you did. Like you went for old reliable.
Like
and that
this
was
man
your
wasn't
choice.
wasn't on the 3rd best team in the NBA this past season.
Can we stop with
my
the
God.
third best team statistic?
Best team.
Why be hating on me for choosing LeBron as like one of y'all would have chosen LeBron if it was still available?
Shaq had the first pick, and I knew 12 hours ago he was taking LeBron James.
True or untrue? Would y'all have chosen LeBron if he was still available at some point in a team? Stop lying to me.
Number one, no.
Stop lying
I
to
would
me.
not have taken LeBron. Nope.
Why y'all sit here both-faced lying to me? This is not an audio podcast. This is video. People are watching us.
Hold on. My first 2 picks Giannis and Joker, and they still would have been my first two picks.
Yep.
If LeBron James is still available.
But would you have not chosen LeBron if he was still available at some point?
Maybe
Stop.
a third pick, but that would have been like pick 12. Number one.
Okay.
If I could have any two picks, I would have taken the same as Malin's, Giannis and Jokic first two.
It was great. Episode 90. Thank you y'all for watching.
Shut it down.
Shaq Six Man would have been the barbershop show that LeBron James does. That would have been his
He'd have taken the shop number
He'd
6.
have taken the shop. That would have been his sixth pick. He probably thought that came with LeBron James.
Like, hold on, Shaq, that does not count. And Nike shoes and Blaze Pizza.
And I get the LeBron 12s. I don't even know if LeBron has 12 shoes, but he gets LeBron 12s.
I thought Shaq tried to close the show out 2 minutes ago.
And here we are, still roasting me for another 2 minutes after trying to close the show out.
I think Rudy Gobert rocking on Shaq.
Shaq Six Man would have been the barbershop show that LeBron James does. That would have been his
He'd have taken the shop number 6.
He'd have taken the shop. That would have been his sixth pick. He probably thought that came with LeBron James.
Like, hold on, Shaq, that does not count. And Nike shoes and Blaze Pizza.
And I get the LeBron 12s. I don't even know if LeBron has 12 shoes, but he gets LeBron 12s.
I thought Shaq tried to close the show out 2 minutes ago.
And here we are, still roasting me for another 2 minutes after trying to close the show out.
I think Rudy Gobert rocking on Shaq.
Nestor took Rudy Gobert. We're racking on Shaq.
This is why I try to close the show out.
For LeBron.
Remember to follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at AFR Sports. That's at AFR Sports. Now back to the show with your hosts,
here we go.
Jalen, Shaquille, and Malin.
Welcome back, folks, to the second half of your favorite show on the internet. Hope you guys had a good halftime. We got G Money here. What's going on, G Money?
Jalen, yeah, usual. Sitting back, getting drunk, talking to you guys.
That sounds like a Wednesday night to me. Malin, Shaq, you guys have a good halftime?
Yeah, sitting here bullshitting, talking with these wonderful gentlemen here, so enjoy.
Yeah. I think Shaq was in a trance for about 90 seconds. I think he was still talking about the Steelers, but he was kind of mumbling to himself. But yeah, no.
Let me play the.
Yes. But what other way to spend a Wednesday than with you fine gentlemen and drinking and talking
Right.
sports.
This
Speaking
is
of
true.
drinking,
Yes.
got the shot here.
This is the remedy for all health issues.
Yes, it
Chest,
is.
all of it.
including the chest pain.
Man,
Cheers.
killing chest man. Just not getting rid of it though, but
No, you forget about it.
All right.
It's got makeup for the first half.
Gotta double it up.
What the hell just happened?
I gotta make up for what I missed.
Sounded like an 82 Dodge Dart just backfired or something. Jesus. I was like, someone got a 87 Hyundai with a bad ignition switch or something. Lord.
G Money, what are you sipping on? And then Malin, I'm gonna ask you the same.
I'm doing some Four Roses single barrel.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Nice.
That is a good one. I broke open that bottle when I was up there too. I'm sipping on the Jack Daniel's Triple Mash. This is easily becoming one of my favorite daily sippers. Just really great, not too expensive. It's about $34 a bottle, and it's now kind of easy to find on the shelves. It wasn't too easy to find when they first released it, but it's really good. So if people haven't tried it, and your favorite team's Steelers, you should buy a bottle and drink it. The whole thing.
I just got a bottle of it
Just chug it.
on Friday.
Oh, you did?
So
The triple
just a couple
mash?
days ago. Yeah, very very tasty.
Yeah, it's really, really smooth for 100 proof. I like it.
Yeah, you wouldn't guess it was 100 proof. Anyway, that's a different show. Well, it's kind of our show anyway, but
It's still a show. It shows every type of show you need it to be in that show. To be honest with you.
That's right.
I mean, sports and bourbon. What else
exactly. Like they do go hand in hand. Not too bad.
Especially,
Stars. That's
especially
what
if your
else
favorite
there
team is the Steelers, then sports and alcohol.
is there?
And Clorox.
Yeah, still
It
got
could be worse, man. You know, your team could be Carolina.
Yeah, that's also true. So, for community comments, this is of course where we kind of read off what you guys have been saying throughout our social media videos throughout the past week or so. So we have one question that's like the main question for all of us to answer, and what you guys weighed in on. But there was some older stuff that some of you guys weighed in on, like the three word game that I posed, like, describe your team in 3 words. A few more of you guys also weighed in on that, which thanks to the folks that always comment. Colin Crawford said Chiefs Rise of Kingdom. I'm not gonna read your name, but he said Colts what the fuck. Broncos, this is from IRS Gunner. Broncos need to gel. Packers.
I thought they needed a ride.
Yeah, a lot
They need
of
to gel
things.
now. And when the name like IRS Gunner, you can go F yourself.
I know.
Leave our money alone.
P-Berg. This was Saturday, so this is right before the actual game. Pickett to Pickens. Sorry, P-Berg.
No.
How does that make you feel, Shaq?
A lot of emotions. None of them good. None of them good.
And
The
you might be
comment.
getting a lot of that.
Wait, his name was P-Berg?
Yeah.
I had a bird when I was little named Pubert. Kind of sounds similar.
Somebody, this is the hot take that I almost dropped my phone when I read this.
Oh, God.
Malin, when you had posed the question of which head coach should be or will be fired first, somebody by the name of Trey Baca, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but he said it has to be Mike Tomlin. That dude's making a joke of a great organization.
Damn. Okay.
You mean the organization that he's made a winning record out of since he's gotten there, except for this one single season, and all of a sudden he's to be fired off the top of that? It's like, what kind of Down syndrome you got this person over? Look, not everybody deserves a social media. Somebody take this man's phone, social media account away from this man. But Mike Tomlin deserves to do his job. This man, if it's still a great coach, it is not his fault this team is going through a hellhole. Any coach that coached Juju, Antonio Brown, and Big Ben on the same season and still somehow won games off of those chaotic trio, yeah, keep this man.
I like how he keeps forgetting about Le'Veon Bell.
And Le'Veon's stupid ass.
So, Jalen, what was that person's name?
Sorry, Trey Baca.
Trey Baca. Okay, first of all, guys, can we just do a golf clap for Trey Baca? Because he did something that none of us else can do, and he got Shaq to say something positive about his own team. Shaq actually went on for about 65 seconds defending his team. That is new. We haven't seen that since I think week 11 of 2021. That happened. So way to go, Trey Baca. Good on you, man. But no, first of all, there's a few coaches that need to be fired before him. I mean, we can just go through the list. I mean, G Money put one in the chat. Who was that? G Money? Do you thought she'd get fired?
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell.
I mean, Jesus Christ, Josh McDaniels. I mean, he couldn't coach in Denver. He's got a better team now than he had in Denver, and he's just blowing it out his ass. I mean,
speaking of Denver, does anyone think that Nathaniel Hackett?
And
could possibly be the next one? Y'all think he's going to make it through the year?
Yeah, I think he will.
I think he will make it just to the end. An honorable discharge.
Probably.
I mean, Jesus. Oh, man. You know, I'm just going to say this before we get into anything else. The rain is starting to come down a little bit harder behind me.
Ooh, soothing.
So if you guys hear a loud pop and my screen goes dark, call 911. There's a lot of electrical out here. So I like how Jalen said soothing. Makes me nervous.
There's a lot of reasons to call 911 for Malin today.
Yeah, there is.
If he falls out of the chair, chest pain, call 911. If he gets hit by lightning.
We got chest pain, possible electrocution. We got
best case scenario is you have chest pain
with depression because my Mariners lost yesterday. There's a whole lot of reasons, people. But yeah, so wow, wow, that guy he went off the ledge. Like, someone needs to check on him. Like, make sure his social media accounts are still active and they haven't been archived because he died. Like, Jesus, that's rough.
As far as this week's this question is, which was, are the bad roughing the passer calls that we've seen this past week or so, do you guys think that they are just like a temporary trend, for lack of a better word, in the NFL? Or do you think that the NFL is making this a point of emphasis for the remainder of this season? Like, they are really going to be protecting the quarterbacks at all costs?
Well, I think that the Dolphins have started kind of a train here. I think that they got fucked by the Jets, and then the Dolphins are fucking the rest of us with the way they handled Tua. Because now all of a sudden, like, everybody is throwing flags for like the dumbest damn things ever. It is really, like, I get that we need to protect the best players. Like, no one wants to see a bunch of backups out there playing in prime time by week 9. I get it. But even when you were throwing people around like crazy and just doing whatever you wanted to with a quarterback, that still wasn't happening. You weren't getting those catastrophic injuries all the time. And, you got Burrow out there saying that he, forgets half the games anyways. So what are you really protecting them from? But with these roughing the passer calls, man, I mean, to me, like, I know we'll talk about the Raiders and the Chiefs one, but the Grady Garrett one with the Bucks with Brady, that to me was just inexcusable. Like, what do you want the guy to do? Like, he was tackling him, he rolled him over, he didn't throw him, there wasn't any forcible contact to the head. And what I really loved about it is that in the postgame, Brady was like, he said, literally, this is what he said. He said, "I'm not the one that throws the flags." Well, you're the bitch that gets up every time you get touched and was like, like, he's trying to throw a flag himself. Yeah. Like, if Brady could have a yellow flag in his pocket, he would be. He does that all the time. And the one thing that no one's talking about is, if you've seen the video, no one's talking about this. Brady kicked Jarrett.
Yeah.
After the sack.
Yeah.
He's on the ground and he kicks him. I'm like, no one, like, how is Tom Brady this untouchable that if another quarterback had done that in this league, they'd have been talking about that. Like, it's just, that was just crazy and inexcusable to me. The whole thing with Chris Jones, I mean, you're asking that man to defy physics.
Yeah.
He's airborne.
Right.
His feet are off the ground.
Right. He's chasing after him. Like, what is he going to do?
He takes the ball from Carr. The moment that he takes the ball, he's now a runner.
Right.
But what the NFL wanted him to do, it's almost like the NFL committee thinks that like the Matrix movies are real. And that he can be in midair, feet off the ground, and just torque his body like Neo and Keanu Reeves and just roll out of the way of the quarterback so that he doesn't land on Carr. I was like, what did you want him to do in that situation? So I don't know. And then there was a play like later on in the same quarter where Mahomes got tossed like a rag doll and there wasn't a flag. So they're not even being consistent in the bullshit calls they're making. But it's really just disgusting really what they're doing.
So do you think that this will maintain, or is it just a short-term thing?
Well, really quick before G Money goes, I think that this is going to be a thing that there's going to be a lot of emphasis on it for a couple weeks, and then you might see it trail off. It's what happens a lot of times in the NFL when they get into these meetings. The officials are told what to pay close attention to and what to bring emphasis to, and I think that rule is so subjective, and when you're telling referees that when in doubt, throw the flag, I mean, you could do that any time the quarterback gets hit. Like it's ridiculous. But so I think there will be a little bit more emphasis for a couple weeks. But two things that need to happen: one, they need to stop making an emphasis, and two, the quarterbacks need to stop campaigning.
Yeah.
For these flags. Like, they need to stop with the theatrics afterwards trying to get the flag. Because it's bringing more attention to it and it's making the refs more hypersensitive to it.
Right.
It's like, at this point, just put them all in a red jersey and give them a flag on their back. They just pull the flag and they're down. Like, it's just stupid. Sorry, G-Money. Go ahead. I'm just pissed off.
It's okay. No, so to your point, it's kind of like watching a Premier League football match where players will fall and fake an injury to get a penalty, and you see quarterbacks going down, Brady definitely, and then calling for a flag. I'm like, no, we'll walk away from that shit. But is this a trend? Yes, but it's nothing new. And it's a trend for different types of quarterbacks. If you're a pocket quarterback, you're going to get those calls. If you're Lamar Jackson, they can freaking body slam your ass, and you are not going to get a roughing the passer call. You are not. Look at Cam Newton. I mean, Cam Newton was getting slammed, and he never got a roughing the quarterback call. Never. That's Jalen Hurts probably is not going to get one. If you're a primarily running quarterback, they're going to look at you as a running back, and you're not going to get those calls. If you're Tom Brady, yeah, you're going to get the call every goddamn time. If someone comes close to you, you fall down. Hey, that could be a roughing the quarterback thing. I'm going to throw the flag. Aaron Rodgers would get the same thing. And no, it's you're not going to see it tail off. It's going to stay where it's at until ownership makes that determination that they don't want it to continue like that. And they're not going to, because they've got too much money invested in the quarterback position.
Exactly.
And that's the sad thing, because it takes away from the game itself. If it's truly a roughing the quarterback, where you body slam him, or you come in and hit him low in his knees after he's thrown the ball, or even before he's thrown the ball, yeah, that's a roughing. We all know what that is. But do any of us know right now, after this past weekend's games, what roughing the quarterback is? Do we have any clue?
No, because
we don't.
When Tua got thrown down, there wasn't a flag.
Right. It was a
And he got
legal
picked
hit.
up and tossed. Yeah, so it's like you have no idea what. Like, any time that a quarterback gets hit in a game, you think there's probably going to be a flag. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm watching a game and I see a quarterback throw the ball, and you see that last second before they fall on the ball, he gets hit, whether it's completion or not, you're thinking, well, there might be a flag to kind of save us if it's an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
Like, you just think that that's going to happen now. There's just too much money in it. with the quarterback.
It's
The
like,
owners
yeah.
are never going to say that.
Especially when it's a star quarterback. Like anytime it's Tom Brady, you're like, there might be a flag coming here, or Aaron Rodgers. It's like, yeah, I can smell a flag, just because, like you said, those guys are like the most guilty of the moment they get touched. They're looking at the ref and screaming at him like, "Come on, where's the call?" So,
I mean, even Geno Smith did it in the game against Detroit. He was running out of the pocket. Gary and I were talking to each other. He was running out of the pocket. He threw a pass, and somebody with their hand like slapped the back of his helmet. And Geno Smith immediately went to the rest and was like, "Hit me on the back of the head! Hit me on the back of the head!" And when they showed the replay, I was like, "Bitch, I've been hit harder in a game of tag than what just happened." But you thought that there could have been a flag. Like, I remember Gary and I thinking, "Oh, they might throw a flag there because you saw a hand hit the helmet." But it's just, to me, it's just getting out of hand. You can't legislate violence out of a sport that's inherently violent.
I'm saying, everyone forgets this is a contact sport. You will be hit. There will be stuff going on. I'm sorry.
Right.
This isn't golf. You're going to get hit. Unfortunately, you take the risk. That comes with the aspect of why y'all get paid so highly, because your careers are significantly shorter than regular jobs. You take the risk. Your body's going through wear and tear. Why do we complain every single time somebody lays hand on you in the contact sport?
Well, the funny thing is that they actually have the lowest salaries compared to baseball and basketball. That's kind of interesting, even though they typically have the shortest careers. But another thing I have an issue with it before we move on, Jalen, is because I want to hear your take on it too, is I understand we pay the quarterbacks like a lot of money, right? But now we're getting up there to where we're paying wide receivers $27 million a year. So when are they going to start getting the preferential treatment? And what really kind of gets to me is that I'm the type of person that likes everything to be fair. And I don't care how much money you make. Your safety should always be a top concern to everybody. But you're putting a special emphasis on the safety of 1% of the players on the field. And when it's almost like that protected class thing, and it really kind of gets under my skin when you're protecting more people more than you are somebody else. And so I think it really should be more. I know that it's like they're never going to care about, the offensive linemen, defensive linemen, linebackers like they do quarterbacks. But it's getting a little bit too skewed for me to where I'm like, I mean, come on, man. Like, they're putting on pads and a helmet too. Like, come on. They're not kickers, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Like, they're men. So, and I meant exactly what I just said. So yeah, I don't know. Unless your name is Justin Tucker McPherson, like those guys are just insane what they can do to kick the ball. Keep in mind, I couldn't kick a 20-yard field goal to save my life, but whatever.
Or if you're a punter named Michael Dixon who played Australian rules football, before going to I think LSU.
Yeah, he could kill a man like 5 different ways on the field. So. Okay, but your thoughts? I want to hear what you think about it.
Yeah,
I haven't had your thoughts.
I think it's gonna be more long term. The NFL always picks what they're gonna focus on every year. Roughing the passer is always a sort of a common theme, but I think that this year, the Tua thing really was like the jump off point. Like, that really got the attention of everybody, not just people who follow football. Like, that seemed to be the talk of even people who don't watch NFL at all. Saw that video of how Tua fell to the ground. It was all locked up. And the NFL wants nothing to do with that at all. They know how bad that makes their game look. They're going to want to protect at all costs the faces of their league. So, unfortunately, this is kind of what happens when the Dolphins mismanage this type of shit anyway.
It also doesn't help when you have some dumbass newscaster, a sports newscaster in Miami, saying that if Tua were to die, then he wanted people brought up on murder charges. Like,
what the hell?
Oh, you guys didn't hear about that?
No.
One of like the top sports newscasters, like every newscast has like their sports person, right?
Mm.
He was talking about wanting people put up on murder charges if Tua died. I was like, well, first of all, like, let's calm down. He's alive.
Right.
He didn't have any life. His hands turned into Edward Scissorhands for a moment, and I understand that was like a jarring scene for a lot of people because a lot of people haven't seen that. But I've seen video where Joe Theismann back in the '80s had his legs damn near amputated by Lawrence Taylor, and that wasn't as jarring to some people as what Tua went through. So society at large is just kind of getting soft too. Like people just need to settle down. It's a gladiator sport without the swords, and people aren't dying. God forbid if anyone ever actually dies on an NFL field. Like it's happened in high school. I think it's happened one time in college in the last 40 years. But if someone actually dies on the field, oh my God, that's going to be like something wild and crazy that we've never seen before.
Anything else we want to mention on this before we move to the Ride or Die 5? All right. Let's keep it moving to the last segment of the week, the Ride or Die 5. This is our betting predictions for the upcoming week in the NFL. To go over last week and where we currently stand, Malin still leading the charge, 95-50. He was 4-1 last week, plus 45 overall. I was also 4-1 last week. I'm 108-79 now, plus 29 overall. Shaq undefeated last week, 5-0. Shaq's been on a bit of a tear these past couple weeks.
Man,
there is a new Shaq.
There is.
This year in NFL.
Now that you brought it up, I'm about to go 0-4 this week, 0-5. But join.
I would just like to point out, Jalen, that like Shaq is only like 11 wins away from you, is he not? Or 12?
Something like that.
But can you remember
like 12 wins away from you?
Can you remember when I was like 2 games ahead of Malin also at the same time?
Yeah, I know.
Now you're 4.
4 ahead. But we can also remember last year when you were like -18 for your picks. But now you're plus 12.
Plus 12.
I do really want to give Shaq some kudos here.
He's been picking his ass off.
No,
yeah,
that came out weird.
I think he steals a lot of picks from me. But no, like Shaq has done a pretty incredible job this year. So I do think he deserves a lot of props for that. I give him shit a lot.
Shaq's just going to show
5.
If you ever want to change your life, you can do it.
Well,
you can always better yourself.
And this is something that we should probably go back and figure out the records are, Jalen. We should start putting up our overalls and what we're doing this year in the NFL season. Because I think we did this year through the first 5 weeks, I'm pretty sure like Shaq has the best record.
I think so. Probably.
I'm pretty sure he does. He's pretty close. Like I know that you had a 5-0 also, but you also had 0-5 in there, like I did.
Right.
And Giovanni did. So I think that Shaq is probably leading this year.
I would say I don't think have I had a losing record so far since the season started.
I think there was 1 week where I think we all went under 500.
We all were 2-3 1 week.
Yeah.
I think that was the second week. In fact, I know it was because I went 7-9 in my total picks on that week.
So it doesn't put me now record wise.
99-87.
Okay, I'm just trying to hit that 100.
Shaq could go over the 100 mark
this week. He said I'm gonna go like 0-1 this fucking week just because.
And I would just like to point out that I've been doing this for 1 year less than Shaq, and I have a chance of hitting the 100 mark this week too. So
G Money is 9-11. He went 3-2 last week. He's -2. He's trying to climb out of that hole. He's right there. Next week could finally put him through.
It was that crappy Indianapolis Denver game.
That did not.
It came right down to it, and it looked like Denver wasn't going to cover. I just wanted them to die. I wanted the whole team to just die.
This show lives off wishing death upon people.
and why not? But the first week, G Money was 4-1, and then the second week he was 0-5.
Yeah.
And then he's been right around like 500, since then. He's been like 2 or 3 or 3-2 or whatnot. So,
Thank God being Grim Reaper is a gift with that type of power.
We just touched somebody.
Taking all 5. Look, the 4 of us would be just sitting there alone, just like. Oh.
I kind of wish I was though, because this world's overpopulated anyways.
Look, you have the city of Detroit, Dallas, Philly, Tampa gone already at least.
Cleveland,
just it's a good portion of people are just gone. All during football, all during football season.
I'm pretty sure that I've thrown Denver in there.
Yeah, I think Utah at one point.
The whole country of Canada.
The whole state. Yeah, Canada as a whole. They can go.
It's gone.
LA, San Francisco, and Arizona. They can all go to
50% of the United States would be gone by now. If it was all the major cities.
Not 50, because I ain't said nothing about Texas yet. So
Dallas. Dallas, I'm pretty sure has been brought up.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
Ride or die.
This is like 10-minute transition period.
Haven't mentioned a single game yet. All right. First one, Sunday at 1:00. My New England Patriots 3-point dogs at Cleveland. The money line is plus 126. I'll go first on this. Give me the 3 points on the road. Cleveland's been very up and down. A good amount of down. I don't know. Neither team here is looking very great at this point. But if you're going to give me 3 points, the customary 3, I'll take them on the road. Check.
I'm also going to take the Patriots with the 3 points. I was like, New England, even though they're doing better than my team, they still
by a game.
They're still a very bad freaking team, and I feel like your team could pull it through. They're bad, but not that bad. They're still a decent team right now, so I'll give New England that.
Malin.
What? God, you always pick good games. I tell you, man. Like the point spreads that you pick, Jalen. Like you really make me think on these like all the time.
I try.
On this one, okay. So New England's 2-2-1 against the spreads. They had 1 push. Cleveland's 2-30. New England does have 51% of the betting line in Vegas going towards them, so it's pretty close. What it really comes down to me is that the Patriots are 0-4 against the spread in the AFC. They don't have Jones. Zippy, Zappy, Zap. To me, he's the epitome of a backup quarterback. Why? Because along with the Lions had the best offense, right, in the NFL, they also had the 31 ranked defense. And Zippy only threw for 188 yards, a touchdown, and interception. Cleveland's defense is markedly better. Now, they're ranked 19th. I thought they were a little bit better than what they were before I looked at the stats, but they are better. Cleveland's allowing, 25 points a game, but New England is only averaging 20 points a game on offense. But I'm going to go ahead and take Cleveland and the 3 points on this one. I just think it's going to be the quarterback position. Jacoby Brissett has not been bad. He's been average, but he hasn't been bad. But Cleveland has something that the Lions don't, and that name is Nick Chubb. And I think that defense is going to be after Zap a little bit.
G Money?
You know, I actually think the Patriots plus the 3. I just don't know how good the Cleveland defense is. I mean, they're 0-2 against the spread at home. So, and they're 0-2 as a favorite. And they're a 3-point favorite, and they're at home. You know, so you look at those, and then you look at the fact that their 2 wins against Pittsburgh and Carolina. That's really not impressive. I mean, I hate to say it. And Carolina was a 2-point win, and Pittsburgh. Well, okay, they covered the spread on that. But I think New England is better than Carolina and Pittsburgh, even with their high school quarterback. They're better than Trubisky, who was the quarterback when they beat Pittsburgh, and Baker Mayfield. And, of course, the fact they had no coach. I mean, I don't know what Matt Rule was doing, but he sure as hell wasn't coaching Carolina. So, yeah, no, I'm going with Cleveland. I mean, I'm going with New England plus the 3.
So all of us besides Malin's going with New England plus 3?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Next game, we have a doozy. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Pittsburgh, 8.5-point favorites.
I want to say, Melo just said you pick nothing but great games, and you go ahead and pick this fucking game. Why is it?
I mean, come on, 8.5 points, Tampa on the road.
Why are we choosing this game? Like, it is a question who's gonna fucking win this game. I'm gonna go first. I'm saying I'm gonna win. I'm gonna say Tampa's gonna cover the 8.5. Gonna cover the 8 points.
I'll just second that.
Are we really questioning whether Tampa's gonna like? If Tampa's gonna blow up her defense, if her defense performs like last week, or offense damn well ain't doing a damn thing. So,
go ahead, Malin.
God.
This is going to be the shortest analysis you ever heard from me. Tampa and the points. I kind of feel like I'm not myself if I don't throw out some kind of stat. So here's a stat for you. Tampa's defense is only allowing 16.6 points a game, and Pittsburgh, I think, is averaging 3 points a game after last week. So yeah, Tampa and the points.
I'm gonna need you to keep your analysis a little bit shorter next time. Like, we need all that. Expect Milton though.
Go ahead, G Money.
Yeah, you got to take Tampa minus the points. I mean, let's face it, Najee No-Show Harris isn't going to run but maybe 5 or 10 times before he taps out. And though, you know, I really want to say, going forward with Pickett at quarterback and Pickens, I think next year that would be a combination you guys will be looking forward to. At least you, Shaq.
The only combination I'm looking forward to as team is a combination of them, some sort of deal, $5 deal, and juice bargains on the fucking tickets. Sort of deal.
Is that the Reggie Bush $5 deal?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Wendy's deal.
The Wendy's.
You know, I just have this image in my mind on Sunday. Like, how pissed is Shaq gonna be if the Steelers actually win this game? Like, is this gonna cost him in ride or die?
I'm a cry.
Are you gonna be rooting against Pittsburgh on Sunday?
Yes, I'm a cry because the one game that I rooted against y'all to lose, y'all decided y'all gonna win. Cost me a good record. I'm not gonna hit my 100. Y'all just acting out just because you can. So I'm gonna go ahead and cry because y'all just don't know how to act. I hate this fucking team. I will fight Tomlin myself if the Tomlin decides this is the game he wants to coach. I fight him and take this man's job. Don't put this man back up there again.
I was just like,
Trey Baca, move over.
That like 10 minutes ago, Shaq was singing Thomas praise. If they actually win, fight him.
If you win this game, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna headbutt the fuck out of you if you keep playing that.
That's not a fair fight.
He about to kill him. That's what he is.
That's a homicide.
The better bet is the over under on the amount of quarters that the Steelers get booed at home because
before the half. Before the half.
I smell a lot of booze.
And there will be Bucks
Sunday.
fans in the stadiums for some godforsaken fucking reason.
Oh, yeah.
And the sad thing is, I probably work that Sunday, and so all my coworkers are gonna talk to me about the game as it's going on, and I might get fired because I might fight a coworker for this fucking game. Because if somebody comes to me in the fourth quarter and remind me how I'm gonna lose, I'm saying something. So if I come to y'all next week saying I'm jobless, just know it's because the Steelers game pushed me to unemployment.
We know why.
Only Shaq would put himself in a position to lose either way on Sunday.
I'm losing.
Yeah.
I'm losing some form or fashion, whether it's my job or a ride or die in 5. And I'd rather lose my job or ride or die in 5. Next week.
Oh shit!
All right, next game. We have another 1:00 game. The New York World Beater Jets playing the Green Bay Packers. This is at Lambeau Field. Jets 7-point underdogs on the road. Malin, let's start with you. What do you like in this one?
This is one of those games that makes me think like, wow, Jalen really picks the hard ones. Because the Jets have been beating people the last couple of weeks, but when you really think about it, like, who have they really been beating?
The Dolphins and the Steelers.
Well, I mean, you think about their 3 wins, right? They beat Jacoby Brissett in a huge fourth quarter meltdown by Cleveland. They beat Trubisky and Pickett, and then they beat Skylar Thompson.
Next, Aaron Rodgers, baby. Let's go.
All right. You might as well say Super Bowl win after that.
In Green Bay, I'm really hoping that the Packers run the ball with Aaron Jones. I know that 59% of the betting money is on the Jets. I know that Green Bay is 2-3 against the spread. The Jets are 3-2 against the spread. I still got to go Aaron Rodgers on this. I got to think that he beats them by at least 7 points. So I'm going to go ahead and take Green Bay on this one. This was probably the toughest one for me to pick.
G Money.
I'm going Green Bay plus a 7, even though they're coming back from London. You got a little jet lag going on. The Jets are giving up an average of 123 yards a game rushing. The Packers are averaging 134 yards a game rushing. So it comes out to, I think, the Jets giving up 4 yards a carry. I think if they run Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and then that allows Aaron Rodgers to hit his receivers who can't catch. Maybe he hits Randall Cobb 60 times. But I really think that the Packers will win this one. Maybe later on in the season, the Jets get much better. But right now, this is Wilson's, 3rd game back from injury. And he really hasn't thrown the ball. I don't know what they're going to be. I just don't know what their offensive scheme is going to be. And I think the Packers' defense is better than the defenses that the Jets have played.
New York Jets, Brooklyn Nets, New York Mets. I don't give a damn. Give me the Packers in 7 points. Shaq.
This is where I'm going to take my risk in my picks. That's where I try to throw it over the edge because I'm that different man. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Jets to win this, and I'll take my points. I'm just saying, this is where I pull my risk. I say they really feel themselves to come off this win. Players
Shaq, 2 weeks in a row taking the Jets. I love it.
But did it not work out for me last week? That's all I'm saying. And we were all hyping with the Dolphins the week before about how the Dolphins are such a good, solid team. They got this and that, and they've been falling apart. That's all I'm saying. I'm taking the Jets to win this one going on. I'm just confident. Confidence speaks numbers when coming into week. That's all I'm saying.
If the Jets prove us wrong again and Shaq right,
and I come back out of this another solid winning record out of this coming week, especially coming off this record, man, G Money made the only one who's gonna be called G Money at the end of this cookout. Said, might as well add that into my name.
Oh my god.
All right. Next game, big game here. 4:30 on Sunday. We have the Bills going to the Chiefs for the AFC Championship game rematch from last year. Bills are 2.5-point favorites on the road. The Chiefs money line is plus 124. G Money, let's start with you.
This is actually the toughest game for me. Kansas City is 0-2 as the underdog against the spread. But the funny thing is Buffalo is 1-2 when they're the favorite against the spread. So it's like, okay, that doesn't help any. Kansas City's 2-3 at home. Buffalo's 3-2 on the road. What the hell? I don't know where the money's at, but mine's on Buffalo. I think Kansas City could pull out the game, if you're just going like money line. But if you're, I just think Buffalo's defense is a lot better than Kansas City's right now. I really do. And I looking at the offense and looking at Kansas City's offense, I think Buffalo has a 1-2-3 punch, and that's not even including their running backs. Their wide receivers with Diggs and Gabe and the tight end. Yeah, Gabe Davis. Yeah, and the fact that, like Mahomes, Josh Allen can run, and he probably will run. And I think maybe Kansas City's defense might be playing a little shy after the calls that went against them at times with the Raiders and the quarterback. So we'll see. But I'm going to take the Bills minus the 2.5.
To me, this game really boils down to just the fact that the Chiefs just came off of a nail biter on Monday, and the Bills basically didn't play anybody on Sunday. So one team should be pretty well rested, and the other team just went to battle. So give me the Bills. Plus, they have some motivation, coming off of a playoff loss to this very same team in that same stadium. I think that this is the game that they circled, and they're going to make it a point to win this game by at least a field goal. So I agree with G Money. Give me the Bills to cover. Shaq.
I'm going to say Kansas City to cover the points here. Kansas City is knowing that they really got to stay in this battle for positioning and late season. So I'm going to say they do cover this game by field goal, and they come through. Like I said, Mahomes, we've learned that this team can be very much a clutch team when you need them to be. This team can really storm down the field, no time at all, get you points really fast. So I have no doubt in my mind that even if they're losing going into the fourth quarter, that this team could definitely storm down the field to get their points and win this game and cover the points. So, take Kansas City.
I wouldn't be surprised. Malin.
Like G Money was saying, there's a lot of factors in this game, and the point spread, you kind of got to throw it out a little bit, or against the spread there. But this is the first time that the Chiefs are going to be underdogs at home since Mahomes has been their quarterback. First time that they're underdogs. And every time that Mahomes has been an underdog in his career, he's 7-0-1 against the spread when the other team is favored. The Bills are giving up 12.2 points a game, but again, they just played the Steelers, so that's inflated a little bit or deflated a little bit. What it really comes down to me is who can come from behind, who can play these tight games. And the Chiefs are a team that already came back from being down against the Chargers. They came back from being down 17 points against the Raiders. The only team that the Bills have beaten that they didn't blow out was the Ravens. And in my opinion, I think they won that game because Harbaugh was an idiot and went for a touchdown on 4th and 2 instead of kicking the field goal. So I'm going to take the Chiefs plus the 2.5. And this type of game, when it's like 2.5, it's basically whichever team is going to win the game.
Right.
But yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs just because I believe that they have a lot more pedigree in winning close games in the fourth quarter than the Bills do.
All right. So G Money and I taking the Bills to cover. Shaq and Malin taking Kansas City in points. Last but not least, the Sunday night game. This is the Cowboys at the Eagles, with the Eagles favored to win by 6, and then the Dallas money line is plus 215. Little money line there for Dallas fans. I'm just gonna put my money where my mouth was in the first half of the show. If I believe that the Eagles are actually the best team in the NFL, give me the Eagles to cover the 6 points at home. I would not be surprised at all if they end up winning this game by a touchdown, and this puts the first bit of doubt into the minds of the Dallas fans on Cooper Rush. Maybe it'll make it a little easier for Dak to come back into the fray once he's healthy. So yeah, give me the Eagles to win this by a touchdown. Shaq.
Yeah, this is a hard one for me because I like neither one of these fucking teams at all in the least bit, but I am going to choose. This is the make or break week for me. After y'all hyped me up so much about being such a good record, I'm going to choose.
We did. You just said we should change your name to G.
I said if this week turns out well, y'all can change my name to G Money. I'm just. It was a big if when I started this statement, but I'm just saying this week I'm gonna take Dallas to win this by the points. Anything not to get Dak Prescott back on his on this roster, I'm fine with that. And like I said, I hate the Eagles more than I hate the freaking Dallas. So I'm saying that they come back. Defense really does do damage to Philly, and they squeeze out a win and touchdown. So give me the Cowboys.
So are you taking the money line here, or are you taking the 6 points in the Cowboys?
6 points in the Cowboys.
Okay.
Y'all hate when I do the money line, so I'm gonna take the 6 points in the Cowboys.
If you want that money line, it is there for the taking.
Nope.
But Malin, go ahead.
Well, when you look at the Eagles, like we talked about earlier, who have they beaten? Lions, Vikings, Commanders, Jaguars, and Cardinals. All of them have a bottom half defense. Every single one of them. They only put up 20 points against the Cardinals defense. Not that good. When you break this game down, yes, 66% of the money is going on the Cowboys, but Dallas is 4-1 against the spread this year. Philly's 3-2. But Dallas has a third-ranked defense, and they're only allowing 14.4 a game. Their offense isn't very good. They're only averaging 18 points a game. But again, I think this is going to be the first real tough matchup that this Philly offense is going to have, and I don't think that Jalen Hurts is going to be able to run the ball like he has been able to. So I think that Dallas is going to be able to make them one-dimensional. And like I said, Jalen Hurts only thrown 4 touchdowns this year, 2 interceptions. I'm going to take Dallas into 6 points.
I just want to say this for the record. Malin has agreed with me on 2 straight picks with going after me, so he can't even blame me for the picks because he was gone after me in these choices. Let's put that out there. He always blames you for it.
I got it all written down.
I mean, we don't communicate about our picks before the show, so I just want to say that Malin can't blame me for nothing because he went after me. He had an opportunity to change his picks off some bad juju, and he still agreed. So just take that for no.
Shaq is a changed man with these picks. That's what we've seen anyway. So, G-Money, go ahead.
I'm taking Dallas. Bills They're 4-1 against the spread this year, and 4-0 with Cooper Rush at quarterback. But it's their defense, and the fact that they're running the ball more effectively than they did with Dak. Granted, Dak only played in basically one and a partial game, but and look at this. They were a 7-point dog to Cincinnati and beat them outright. They were 1 point, 1 point underdog to the Giants and beat them outright. They were a 5-point dog to the Rams and beat them outright. I mean, I don't know. And Malin's right. Philadelphia really hasn't played a defense like this yet. Now, offensively, they're not that great, but defensively, I think they can shut them down.
Well, looks like you guys are all taking Dallas in the points. I am the only one taking the Eagles to cover here. So, yeah, we only have 2 games where there's a one man against the rest of us, and that is this one and then the New England game with Malin being on the Cleveland Island to cover. So, we'll see what happens this weekend. Yeah, anything else you guys want to mention before we get out of here?
I feel this is one of our biggest weeks in picks and decisions and everything right there. So that's just my opinion about it. It's one of the harder weeks when it comes to picking, and I feel like the record's ready to pick a lot this week. Especially since me and Malin just all trying to hit 100 going on, and I feel like Malin could definitely maybe, I don't know, because we agree with each other a lot, but could definitely surpass me maybe on these picks.
Yeah, I don't think mathematically.
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
But
we chose too many of them the same, but I mean, we could both get over 100 wins.
Right, that is possible.
Same time.
Well, that's where we are at. G Money, want to thank you for coming on for yet another week. Highly appreciate you, my guy. And,
appreciate you guys having me.
Of course,
yes,
of course.
Absolutely. Folks at home, we will talk to you all next Wednesday. Best of luck to everyone's teams, except the ones that are playing our teams. And, yeah, we'll see you on Instagram, TikTok, at AFR Sports. Have a good week, everyone, and thanks for watching.